Wow, you guys have really outdone yourselves this time with all the source material.
Yeah, it's quite the collection.
I mean, we're diving into the universe, time travel, AI,
All the big wow.
possibly a cosmic buffet of all the big questions out there.
It is, yeah. We've got excerpts from physics journals, some philosophical essays, even some thought-provoking science fiction sprinkled in.
Exactly. And that's what makes this deep dive so exciting.
Yeah,
We're not just sticking to one discipline.
right.
We're going to be kind of weaving together different ways of thinking about the universe and our place in it.
Absolutely.
So, are you ready to get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, the first thing that jumped out at me was this idea from this article here. It's
Okay.
called pasted text. And
Okay.
the idea is that 95% of the universe is made up of stuff we can't even see.
It's a pretty humbling thought, right?
It is.
It's like this giant cosmic puzzle where most of the pieces are invisible.
Yeah, exactly.
All the stars and galaxies and planets we can see, that's just a tiny fraction of what's actually out there.
Wow.
We call that unseen stuff dark matter and dark energy.
But if they're invisible, how do we even know they exist?
Well, it's kind of like imagine a swing set on a perfectly still day.
Okay.
Suddenly the swings start moving like someone's pushing them,
Right.
but no one's there.
Okay, yeah.
And that's kind of what's happening with galaxies.
Mm.
They're rotating way faster than they should be if we only look at the stuff that we can see.
Mm-hmm.
So physicists theorize that there must be this invisible dark matter
Right.
that's exerting a gravitational pull.
So dark matter is like this cosmic glue holding everything together.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's a good way to put it.
That's incredible.
Oh,
But what about dark energy?
okay.
This article mentioned that it's actually causing the universe to expand
Right.
at an accelerating rate.
At an accelerating rate. That's right. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's the current understanding.
Hmm.
Dark energy is even more mysterious than dark matter. It's like this anti-gravity force pushing everything apart
Hmm.
and causing the expansion of the universe to speed up.
So it's almost like the universe is being stretched from the inside out.
Yeah, it's a good way to visualize it.
It's incredible.
And with all this invisible stuff accounting for the vast majority of the universe,
Right.
it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
how will it all end?
Right. What is the ultimate fate of all of this?
Yeah, well, the article you sent mentions a few possibilities.
Uh.
One is called the Big Freeze.
Okay.
Just imagine the universe continues to expand forever,
Right.
getting colder and more diffuse over time.
Okay.
Eventually, stars would die out, galaxies would drift farther and farther apart,
Hmm.
and the universe would end up as this cold, dark void.
That's a pretty bleak scenario.
It is, yeah.
Is there any chance of a more dramatic ending?
Well, there is.
Okay.
This article also mentions something called the Big Rip.
The Big Rip. Okay.
Yeah, so that one is, shall we say, a bit more energetic. In this scenario, the expansion of the universe accelerates at such an extreme rate
Okay.
that it eventually overcomes all the forces that are holding matter together.
Right.
So imagine galaxies, stars, planets,
Uh-huh.
even atoms themselves just being ripped apart.
Wow. Talk about a cosmic fireworks display.
That's one way to put it.
But wait, there was one more theory mentioned.
Yeah,
Something about a big crunch.
the Big Crunch. Yeah.
Does that offer a different ending?
It does. It offers a contrasting possibility
Okay.
where gravity ultimately wins the tug of war with dark energy.
Right.
So instead of expanding forever,
Right.
the universe would eventually slow down, stop expanding,
Aye.
and then start collapsing back in on itself.
So it's like the Big Bang in reverse.
Exactly, like a rewind button on the universe.
So then everything would get denser and hotter, eventually culminating in what?
Well, it's hard to say for sure,
Right.
but one possibility is that the collapse could lead to another Big Bang,
Wow.
creating a new universe from the ashes of the old one.
So maybe the universe isn't a linear story with a beginning and an end,
Right.
but rather a cycle of death and rebirth.
A cycle, exactly, yeah.
That's a pretty mind-boggling concept.
It really is, and it opens up all sorts of questions about whether there were universes before our own and what kinds of universes might come after.
Right, right.
It's like peeling back layers of a cosmic onion,
Yeah.
always finding more to explore.
Speaking of exploring, one thing that's always captivated me is the idea of black holes.
Okay, yeah.
These cosmic behemoths that seem to defy the laws of physics as we know them.
They certainly are fascinating objects.
They are.
You know, black holes form when massive stars collapse at the end of their life cycle,
Okay.
and the gravitational pull of those collapsed stars
Right.
becomes so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape.
So they're like giant cosmic vacuum cleaners sucking up anything that gets too close.
That's a good analogy, yeah.
It's a pretty scary thought.
It is, it is.
But what happens to the stuff that falls into a black hole? I mean, physics tells us that information can't be destroyed, right?
That's right, and that's where we run into one of the biggest puzzles in modern physics.
Well,
It's called the black hole information paradox,
okay.
because it seems like black holes are violating this very fundamental principle by destroying information as matter falls into them.
Okay, so this is where I need a little help wrapping my head around things.
Right.
How can something be destroyed if information can't be destroyed?
Well, some physicists believe that the information isn't truly destroyed,
Okay.
but somehow encoded on the surface of the black hole. Almost like a cosmic hard drive,
Oh.
storing bits of data.
So it's not gone, just transformed in a way we don't yet understand.
Exactly. And there are some incredibly complex theories out there trying to explain how this might work,
Right.
involving things like quantum entanglement and holographic principles.
Wow.
It's still very much an active area of research.
Okay, so black holes are basically cosmic enigmas.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
Got it. But you know what else is mind-blowing?
What's that?
The multiverse theory.
Okay.
This idea that our universe is just one of many,
Right.
each with its own set of physical laws and possibilities.
The idea of multiple universes is certainly intriguing.
It is.
You know, the theory really stems from the realm of quantum mechanics,
Oh?
which suggests that at the subatomic level,
Right.
reality is a bit fuzzy.
Fuzzy. What do you mean by that?
Well, in quantum mechanics,
You're right.
particles can exist in multiple states at the same time.
Hmm.
Like, imagine a coin spinning in the air.
Okay, yeah.
It's both heads and tails
Right.
until you stop it and look at it.
Okay, yeah.
So how does that relate to the multiverse?
Right, right.
Well, imagine each quantum decision
Mm.
creating a new branch of reality, a new universe.
Wow.
Like every time that coin lands, it creates a new universe where it landed the other way.
So if there are infinite realities out there, does that mean there's a version of me out there who's already achieved all my wildest dreams?
It's a fun thought experiment, isn't it?
It is.
To imagine all these alternative realities playing out.
Yeah, or a version of me that made different choices altogether.
Exactly. And that's the thing. We don't know for sure if the multiverse is real.
Right.
It's still a very speculative idea,
Okay.
but it's a fascinating concept
It is.
that forces us to question the very nature of reality itself.
And speaking of the nature of reality,
Yeah.
how about the nature of time itself?
Okay.
I mean, we all experience time as this constant flow,
Right.
this forward arrow.
Yeah.
But what if that's just an illusion?
You're hitting on one of the most profound and perplexing questions in physics.
Really?
Yeah, because Einstein's theory of relativity showed us that time isn't this absolute thing.
Right.
It's relative to gravity and motion.
Wait, so time can actually speed up or slow down,
It can.
depending on where you are and how fast you're moving.
Exactly. The stronger the gravity, the slower time flows.
Mm.
And the faster you move, the slower time passes for you relative to someone who's standing still.
So like astronauts on the International Space Station,
Yeah,
they're actually aging a tiny bit slower than us here on Earth.
that's right. It's called time dilation.
Wow.
And it's been experimentally verified.
That's incredible. So time is relative.
It is.
But does that mean time travel is actually possible?
Well, this is where things get really intriguing.
Okay.
Theoretically, time travel is possible, at least according to Einstein's equations.
So could we potentially build a time machine?
It wouldn't be as simple as hopping in a DeLorean, unfortunately,
Okay.
but there are theoretical possibilities.
Right.
For example, there are things called wormholes.
Wormholes. Yeah.
Which are these hypothetical tunnels through space-time.
Right.
They could potentially connect different points in time.
So like shortcuts through the fabric of reality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But creating and stabilizing a wormhole is a whole other challenge. Right.
That we haven't even begun to address.
Okay.
There's also this idea that rotating black holes,
Black holes again.
yeah, they seem to be connected to all sorts of cosmic mysteries.
They do.
But keep in mind, harnessing black holes for time travel is still purely in the realm of theoretical physics.
Right.
We're nowhere near having the technology or understanding to even attempt such a feat.
Okay, so time travel is theoretically possible,
Yeah.
but maybe not practically feasible just yet.
Right.
But you know what's even more mind-blowing than the vastness of space and the nature of time?
What's that?
our own consciousness.
Ah, yes, consciousness.
I mean, we can explore galaxies billions of light years away,
Right.
but we still haven't figured out what's going on inside our own heads.
It's the ultimate frontier, isn't it?
It really is.
We have all this advanced technology, we can map the human genome,
Right.
and yet the nature of consciousness remains this elusive enigma.
So what are the leading theories about consciousness?
Is it simply neurons firing in a certain pattern, or is there something more to it?
There's a huge range of theories out there.
Okay.
Some stick to this materialist view
Okay.
that consciousness is simply a product of the brain's complex network of neurons.
Right.
But others suggest it might be something more fundamental,
Okay.
like woven into the fabric of the universe itself.
So it's not just in our brain,
Right.
but maybe a property of reality itself.
Exactly. Some physicists even believe that consciousness could be linked to the strangeness of quantum mechanics.
Quantum mechanics and consciousness.
Aha!
That's a pretty wild combo. I'm almost afraid to ask, but is there anything else out there that's really pushing the boundaries of how we understand the nature of reality?
Well, there's this one idea that has really captured the public imagination.
Okay.
It's called the simulation hypothesis.
Oh, the simulation hypothesis, yeah.
Yeah, have you heard of this one?
Yeah, it's like the idea that we're all living in a giant computer simulation
Exactly.
created by some advanced civilization.
That's right, yeah.
It's like the Matrix, but on a cosmic scale.
That's a good way to put it.
That's a scary thought.
It is, it is.
But if we're in a simulation, wouldn't there be glitches?
That's what some proponents of the theory believe.
Okay.
They suggest that certain unexplained phenomena,
Okay.
perhaps even the strangeness of quantum mechanics itself,
Uh-huh.
could be hints that our reality is simulated.
So signs that things aren't quite what they seem,
Right.
like finding an error in the cosmic code.
Exactly.
Okay, I could already feel the existential dread creeping
Yeah,
on.
it's a mind-bending concept.
It is. But if this were true, wouldn't it
Yeah.
raise all sorts of questions about free will, purpose, the meaning of life?
Absolutely. If our reality is a simulation,
Right.
who are the simulators? What are their motives? And what does it mean for our understanding of ourselves and the universe?
Those are big questions.
They're big questions.
And I don't think we have any easy answers.
You don't know, not at this point.
Well, I think we've officially reached peak mind-blown territory for now.
I think so, too.
But you know what? All this talk about the universe and consciousness has me thinking about the future of humanity.
Okay.
I mean, where do we go from here with all these possibilities and challenges ahead of us?
Right. It's a great time to shift gears and talk about the future.
Yeah, especially with all these rapid advancements in fields like AI.
Absolutely. Understanding our place in the cosmos
Right.
inevitably leads to questions about our destiny among the stars.
It does. It does. And when it comes to space exploration,
Yeah.
there's one name that always seems to be at the forefront. Elon Musk.
He's certainly a visionary figure.
He is.
His company SpaceX is pushing the boundaries of what's possible,
Right?
making space travel more accessible and affordable.
Right, right.
He and others argue that becoming a multiplanetary species,
Yeah.
it's essential for the long-term survival of humanity.
So colonizing other planets, like Mars, is like a cosmic insurance policy.
That's one way to look at it, yeah.
Right, like a backup plan in case something catastrophic happens to Earth.
Exactly. But it's not just about survival.
Right.
There's also this deep-seated human drive to explore, to push the boundaries of what's possible, to reach for the stars.
But wouldn't it be incredibly challenging to live on Mars? I mean, it's a pretty harsh environment.
Yeah, it definitely would.
How would we even survive there?
It would be a monumental undertaking.
Yeah.
I mean, Mars has a thin atmosphere, no liquid water on the surface. It's bombarded with radiation.
Right. So how would we...
But there are ideas about how to terraform the planet,
Okay.
making it more Earth-like over time.
Terraforming. Like transforming the entire planet into a second Earth.
Exactly. It sounds like science fiction.
It does.
But there are theoretical ways to do it.
Wow.
Like releasing greenhouse gases into the atmosphere could warm the planet up,
Okay.
melt the polar ice caps,
Right.
release water and thicken the atmosphere.
Wow. That's some serious planetary engineering.
It is. It is.
But let's say we do manage to colonize Mars. What's next? Do we just stop there? Or keep pushing further out into the cosmos?
That's a great question.
It is.
For some, Mars is just the first step.
Okay.
They envision humanity building interstellar ships,
Wow.
venturing out to other star systems, maybe even colonizing other galaxies.
Interstellar travel. That sounds even more futuristic than terraforming Mars.
It does, but who knows what technologies we might develop in the coming centuries.
Right.
We might discover new forms of propulsion,
Ah,
ways to warp space-time,
wow.
maybe even harness the power of black holes for travel.
Black holes again. It seems like they hold the key to unlocking so many cosmic possibilities.
They do.
But speaking of pushing the boundaries of what's possible,
Okay.
there's one more elephant in the room.
All right.
Or maybe I should say, the AI in the spaceship.
You're right. Artificial intelligence is rapidly changing our world.
It is.
And its potential impact on the future is both exciting
Yeah.
and a bit daunting.
A bit daunting, yeah.
It's like we're on the verge of something truly transformative.
We are, yeah. But where is it all heading?
Yeah.
What are the potential benefits of AI, and what are the risks?
Well, on the positive side,
Okay.
AI has the potential to revolutionize nearly every aspect of our lives.
Hmm.
It could lead to breakthroughs in medicine, energy, transportation, communication.
Wow.
It could help us solve some of humanity's biggest challenges.
So AI could be like this super intelligent partner helping us create a better future.
Exactly. But on the other hand,
Okay.
there are concerns about job displacement
Right.
as AI automates more tasks.
Uh-huh.
Also, potential biases that can be embedded in algorithms.
Right.
And even the possibility of AI becoming a threat to humanity if we don't develop it responsibly.
Yeah, it's like we're playing with fire.
It is.
AI could be this incredibly powerful tool, but it could also burn us if we're not careful.
It's a great analogy.
Yeah,
It's crucial that we approach AI development with caution and foresight
right.
to ensure that AI is aligned with human values and used for the benefit of all.
So it's not just about the technology itself, but also about the ethics and values that guide its development.
Exactly.
And that raises some really important questions like, what does it mean for a machine to be intelligent?
Right.
Can AI truly be conscious? And how do we ensure that AI remains under human control?
These are all important questions to consider,
Yeah, they are.
especially since AI is advancing at such a rapid pace.
Right.
Some experts even talk about the possibility of a technological singularity.
Oh, yeah, the singularity.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but also slightly terrified.
Yeah, it can be a bit unsettling.
Break it down for me. What exactly is the singularity?
It's this hypothetical point in time
Okay.
when artificial intelligence surpasses human intelligence
Right.
and starts to self-improve at an exponential rate.
Mm.
Essentially, AI would become capable of designing and creating even more intelligent AI,
Wow.
leading to this intelligence explosion that could rapidly reshape civilization as we know it.
So AI would basically become smarter than us.
Right.
And then just keep getting smarter faster and faster.
Yeah, that's the idea.
That sounds intense.
It's a mind-blowing concept, and it raises all sorts of questions.
It does, yeah. Like, will we merge with machines?
Right.
Will AI become our overlords? Or will we find a way to coexist peacefully and thrive together?
Right. It's like we're standing at this crossroads in human history,
Yeah.
and the choices we make now will determine the fate of our species.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from the unseen universe and the end of everything to black holes, the multiverse, time travel, consciousness, the future of humanity, and the rise of AI. It's a lot to process.
It certainly is. We've only just scratched the surface of these topics.
Right.
But hopefully this is giving you some food for thought.
Food for thought indeed.
Yeah.
But you know what's been nagging at me this whole time?
What's that?
We've been talking about all these cosmic mysteries, the future of humanity, the potential of AI.
Right.
But what about other life forms out there?
Okay.
Are we alone in the universe?
Yeah. The age-old question.
I mean, with billions of galaxies out there, trillions of stars, and even more planets,
Yeah.
it seems statistically impossible that we're the only ones,
I
right?
know. You would think so, right?
Yeah.
But then we run into something called the Fermi Paradox.
The Fermi Paradox? What's that?
It's basically this apparent contradiction between the high probability of extraterrestrial life existing
Right.
and the lack of evidence we've found so far.
Okay.
If the universe is teeming with life,
Right.
why haven't we detected any signs of it yet?
So if aliens are out there, why haven't we found them yet?
Yeah,
Or why haven't they found us?
that's the paradox.
Yeah.
There are a lot of potential explanations.
Okay.
Maybe intelligent life is much rarer than we think,
Right.
or maybe civilizations tend to self-destruct before they reach a level of technology that would allow them to, say, travel between stars or send signals we could detect.
Okay, that's a bit depressing.
It is, yeah.
But are there any more optimistic theories about why we haven't made contact yet?
Well, of course. Maybe they're already here, but they're keeping themselves hidden.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe we just haven't been looking in the right places
Mhm.
or listening for the right signals.
So there's still hope that we might one day pick up a message from ET.
Absolutely. The universe is a vast and mysterious place.
It is, it is.
Who knows what wonders and surprises are waiting to be discovered?
I love that sense of wonder. But speaking of mysteries,
Okay.
have you heard of the zoo hypothesis?
The zoo hypothesis. Oh, yes, that's a fascinating one.
Yeah.
It suggests that these advanced alien civilizations might be deliberately avoiding contact with us,
Oh, okay.
observing us from afar, like
Well,
we're animals in a cosmic zoo.
So we're like the exhibits in a galactic museum.
Yeah, that's the idea.
But why would they avoid contact?
Well, maybe they're studying us,
Right.
waiting for us to reach a certain level of development before making contact. Okay.
Or perhaps they're protecting us from something,
Oh.
like shielding us from the dangers of the wider universe.
It's both a humbling and slightly creepy thought, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
That we might be under cosmic surveillance.
The cosmic zookeepers watching over us.
Wow.
But it speaks to the vast possibilities out there.
It does.
There could be civilizations far older and more advanced than our own,
Right.
watching us with curiosity, or maybe even guiding us in ways we don't yet understand.
Well, I think we've covered just about every cosmic mystery under the sun.
I think so too.
Or should I say, under the stars.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it.
It's been an incredible journey so far.
It has, yeah.
But I think we need a moment to process all this mind-blowing information.
Yeah, we've only just begun to scratch the surface.
We have.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the cosmic unknown.
You know, it feels like we just dipped our toes into the vast ocean of cosmic mysteries.
Yeah, and you're right.
Yeah.
There's still so much more to explore. So much more. So much more.
Yeah.
Well, I'm ready to plunge back in.
Okay.
Where do we go from here?
Let's revisit that idea of a cyclical universe.
Okay.
Imagine if the Big Bang
Right.
wasn't a one-time event,
Right.
but just one chapter in an ongoing cosmic story.
So instead of a beginning and an end, it's more like an endless loop,
An endless loop, exactly.
with each cycle potentially giving birth to new universes.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow, that's a pretty mind-boggling concept.
It really is. It's like this cosmic dance of expansion and contraction,
Right.
with each cycle potentially giving rise to new universes with different physical laws and constants.
So if the universe keeps cycling like that, could there be traces of previous universes left behind?
That's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
Some scientists believe that subtle patterns in the cosmic microwave background radiation,
Okay.
the afterglow of the Big Bang,
Right.
could hold clues to previous cycles. It's like trying to decipher the history of the universe
Yeah.
from these faint whispers of radiation.
So we're searching for these ancient whispers of energy to piece together the story of the cosmos.
That's a great way to think about it.
That's amazing.
We're using the tools of science to delve into the deep past,
Yeah.
seeking evidence of events that occurred billions of years ago.
It's like cosmic archaeology on a grand scale.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
let's shift gears a bit
Okay.
and talk about another mind-blowing possibility we touched on earlier.
Okay.
Baby universes.
Baby universes. Oh, yeah.
This idea that our universe
Right.
might be constantly giving birth to new universes.
Right.
Through these tiny bubbles of space-time branching off,
Okay.
each with its own unique set of physical laws and possibilities.
So it's like the universe is constantly experimenting with new realities.
That's one way to think about it, yeah.
Do you think there could be like an infinite variety of these baby universes?
It's a very tantalizing possibility.
Yeah.
We could be talking about realms where the fundamental constants of nature are different.
Right.
Things like the speed of light or the strength of gravity.
Right.
And that could have unimaginable consequences for the formation of stars, galaxies, and even life itself.
With different forms of life even?
Essentially, yeah.
It's incredible to think about all these unseen realms.
It is.
Potentially existing just beyond our reach.
Yeah.
Governed by laws of physics we can barely comprehend.
Yay.
Makes you realize how much we still don't know about the true nature of reality.
Absolutely. It's a humbling reminder that our current understanding of the universe
Yeah.
is likely just a tiny sliver of a much grander,
Right.
more complex reality.
But if these baby universes are branching off all the time,
Yeah.
couldn't they also collide with our own universe?
It's a great question.
What would happen if two universes bumped into each other?
Well, some physicists believe
Yeah.
that such collisions could leave behind observable traces
Okay.
in the cosmic microwave background radiation.
Uh-huh.
Imagine these faint patterns of energy,
Mm-hmm.
like ripples on the surface of a pond,
Right.
providing evidence of these ancient cosmic encounters.
So we could be searching for signs of these cosmic fender benders in the faintest echoes of the Big Bang.
Exactly.
Ah.
And by studying these patterns,
Yeah.
we might be able to glean some insights into the nature of these other universes
Okay.
and the processes that govern their formation.
Okay, I think my brain just went through a cosmic wormhole.
I think mine too.
But as much as I love exploring the outer reaches of the universe,
Yeah.
I want to circle back to something that's equally fascinating
Okay.
and perhaps even more mysterious. Consciousness.
Consciousness, yeah.
Yeah.
It's arguably the biggest mystery of all.
It is.
We talked about how it might be connected to the strangeness of quantum mechanics,
Right.
but I'd love to delve into that a bit deeper. Can you explain how those two seemingly disparate concepts might be linked?
Well, it's definitely a mind-bending concept.
It is.
But from what I understand,
Yeah.
quantum mechanics suggests that at the subatomic level,
Right.
reality is not fixed,
Yeah.
but exists as a superposition of possibilities.
Okay.
This wave function that collapses into a definite state,
Right.
only upon observation.
Okay. Yeah.
So some physicists propose that consciousness might play a role in this collapse,
Okay.
that our minds are somehow interacting with the quantum realm
Yeah.
and influencing the way reality unfolds.
That's a good summary. Yeah.
That-
It essentially suggests that consciousness
Uh-huh.
might be more than just a passive observer of reality,
Right.
but it could be an active participant in shaping the world around us.
So our thoughts could actually be influencing reality on a fundamental level.
Yeah. It's a pretty trippy idea.
It is trippy. But
Yeah.
are there any more specific theories about this?
There are, yeah. There's
Yeah.
one called orchestrated objective reduction. Okay.
Or chore.
Or chore. Maybe.
That suggests that consciousness
Yeah.
might arise from these quantum processes occurring within microtubules.
In microtubules. Okay.
These tiny structures inside brain cells.
So our consciousness could be orchestrated by these tiny quantum conductors in our brains.
That's the idea. Yeah,
That sounds like something out of a science fiction novel.
it does. It does.
But if consciousness does have this quantum connection,
Yeah.
does that mean we might one day be able to harness these quantum effects
Mm.
to enhance our cognitive abilities or even explore other dimensions of reality?
These are fascinating questions.
Yeah.
And while we're still in the very early stages of understanding the relationship between consciousness and quantum mechanics,
Right.
the possibilities are truly mind-boggling.
They are.
It's a frontier that holds immense potential
Uh-huh.
for understanding the nature of reality and the human mind itself.
Okay. Speaking of mind-boggling possibilities,
Okay.
what about the simulation hypothesis?
Is there any way to definitively prove or disprove that we're all just living in a giant computer program
Right.
created by some advanced civilization?
It's a tough one to crack.
It is.
Some proponents of the theory argue
Yeah.
that if we are living in a simulation,
Right.
there might be subtle glitches or inconsistencies in the fabric of reality that
Right.
we could detect.
Like what kind of glitches?
Well,
I'm imagining the universe suddenly freezing.
okay.
Or pixels appearing in my field of vision.
Well, maybe not that dramatic.
Huh.
But imagine finding these statistically improbable patterns in seemingly random events or encountering these physical limitations that shouldn't exist,
Right.
according to our current understanding of physics.
Yeah.
Or maybe even experiencing those deja vu moments.
Oh, right.
Where it feels like you've lived this exact moment before.
Yeah. Yeah. So like those glitches in video games
Uh-huh.
where the characters suddenly fall through the floor
Right.
or objects start behaving strangely.
Yeah, it's a good analogy.
But even if we did find glitches like that,
Yeah,
wouldn't it be impossible to know for sure?
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Even if we found compelling evidence
Yeah.
of a simulation,
Right.
it would still be a matter of interpretation.
Right.
It wouldn't necessarily provide definitive proof,
Okay.
but it would certainly raise some profound philosophical questions
It would.
about the nature of reality
Right.
and our place within it.
Yeah. It's enough to make you question everything you thought you knew about the world.
I agree.
But I think it's time to
Okay.
shift gears again
Okay.
and bring things back down to earth, so to speak.
Okay, back down to earth.
We've been talking about this grand cosmic picture.
Right.
But what about the future of humanity here on our own planet?
That's an important shift in focus.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Even as we explore the vastness of the cosmos,
Right.
we can't ignore the challenges and opportunities
Right.
facing us right here at home.
Exactly. So let's talk about those challenges and opportunities.
Okay.
Where do you see humanity headed in the coming decades and centuries?
Well, technology is certainly a major driving force.
It is.
We're living in an era of unprecedented technological innovation,
Right.
advancements in fields like artificial intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
biotechnology, nanotechnology, and space exploration.
It's both exhilarating and a little bit overwhelming to keep up with all the advancements.
It is.
But how do you see these technologies shaping our future?
Well, on the one hand,
Okay.
they have the potential to solve some of the world's most pressing problems.
Okay.
AI could help us develop new medical treatments,
Right.
create sustainable energy sources, and even address climate change.
Wow.
Biotechnology could lead to breakthroughs in agriculture,
Uh-huh.
personalized medicine, and even extend human lifespans.
Wow.
Nanotechnology could revolutionize material science
Right.
and manufacturing,
Wow.
and space exploration
Yeah.
could open up new frontiers for human settlement.
And resource utilization.
So technology could be the key to creating a more sustainable, prosperous,
Yeah.
and perhaps even a more equitable future for humanity.
It certainly has that potential.
It does.
But on the other hand,
Okay.
these technologies also come with their own set of challenges and risks.
Right, right.
We need to carefully consider the ethical implications of AI,
Yeah.
ensure that biotechnology is used responsibly,
Uh-huh.
and manage the potential risks of nanotechnology.
Okay.
And as we venture further into space,
Right,
we need to be mindful of our impact on other celestial bodies
right.
and the potential for unforeseen consequences.
Yeah, it seems like every technological advancement comes with its own set of ethical dilemmas.
You're absolutely right.
It's a constant balancing act between progress and responsibility.
It is.
Yeah.
It's crucial that we engage in open and honest conversations
Yeah.
about the ethical implications of these emerging technologies.
Right.
We need to involve diverse perspectives.
Consider long-term consequences
Right.
and ensure that technological advancements are guided by human values and a commitment to the well-being of all.
So it's not just about developing new technologies,
Right.
but about shaping a future that aligns with our values and aspirations.
Exactly.
But in addition to all these technological advancements,
Yeah.
what other forces are shaping the future of humanity?
Well,
What about things like climate change,
right.
population growth, and geopolitical instability?
Those are all critical factors
Yeah.
that will undoubtedly shape the course of human history in the coming decades and centuries. Climate change is already having a significant impact on our planet,
Right,
leading to more extreme weather events,
right.
rising sea levels, and disruptions to ecosystems.
It's a global crisis that demands immediate action.
Absolutely, it does.
But what can we do to mitigate the effects of climate change
Well,
and create a more sustainable future?
it's a multifaceted challenge. That requires a multi-pronged approach.
Okay.
We need to transition to cleaner energy sources, reduce our carbon emissions,
Right.
invest in climate adaptation strategies,
Right.
and promote international cooperation
Right.
to address this global threat.
That's a tall order.
It is. It is.
But it seems like there's a growing awareness of the urgency of this issue,
Yeah.
which is encouraging.
That's crucial.
Yeah.
We need individuals,
Yeah.
businesses,
Yeah.
and governments
Yeah.
all working together
Right.
to address climate change before it's too late.
Before it's too late. Yeah.
But in addition to climate change,
Yeah.
population growth is another factor that will shape our future.
Right.
The global population is projected to reach nearly 10 billion by 2050,
Wow.
which will put increased strain on resources
Right.
and potentially exacerbate existing social and economic inequalities.
That's a lot of mouths to feed and a lot of minds to educate.
It is. It is.
So what are some of the challenges and opportunities associated with this growing global population?
Well, one of the biggest challenges will be ensuring that everyone has access to basic necessities.
Right.
Like food, water, shelter, healthcare, and education.
Of course.
We'll need to develop more sustainable and efficient methods of food production, find ways to conserve water resources,
Right.
and create more equitable systems
Yeah.
for distributing wealth and opportunity.
It sounds like a complex balancing act.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. Between meeting the needs of a growing population
Right.
while also protecting the planet.
Right.
And ensuring social justice.
Exactly. And we can't forget about the geopolitical landscape.
Right.
The world is becoming increasingly interconnected,
It is.
but it's also becoming more fragmented and polarized.
Right.
We're seeing this rising nationalism,
Yeah.
political instability,
Uh-huh.
and conflicts over resources and ideology.
It's a very tumultuous time.
It is, yeah.
Full of uncertainty and potential for both conflict and cooperation.
It is. It is.
But amidst all the challenges, there's
Yeah.
also hope.
Okay.
You know, humans are incredibly resilient and adaptable creatures.
Right.
We've faced crises and overcome challenges
We have.
throughout our history.
Right. So you're optimistic about the future of humanity.
I am cautiously optimistic. I
Okay.
believe that we have the ingenuity, the creativity, and the capacity for compassion
Yeah.
to navigate the challenges ahead and create a better future
Right.
for ourselves and for generations to come.
Well, that's reassuring. Okay, so we've talked about this grand cosmic picture,
Right.
the mysteries of the universe and the
Yeah.
future of humanity on Earth.
Uh-huh.
But there's one more frontier I want to explore before
Okay.
we wrap up this deep dive.
The final frontier.
Exactly.
You mean the one within?
Exactly. We've journeyed to the edges of the universe
We have.
and contemplated the nature of reality itself, but we haven't delved into the mysteries of the human mind itself.
Ah, yes. The inner cosmos.
Yes. Yeah.
The most complex and enigmatic structure in the known universe.
The universe within a universe.
Exactly.
We'll be back soon to explore the depths of consciousness, perception, memory, and the very essence of what it means to be human. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been on quite the intellectual adventure,
We have.
exploring everything from the vastness of the universe to the potential of AI.
It's been a whirlwind tour of cosmic mysteries and human potential.
It really has.
But now we're turning our attention inward
Yeah.
to perhaps the most fascinating frontier of all, the human mind.
Exactly. We've journeyed to the edges of the universe, contemplated the nature of reality itself,
Right.
but now it's time to delve into the mysteries of our own inner cosmos, the human brain.
It's often said that the human brain is the most complex structure in the known universe.
It is.
The source of our thoughts, emotions, memories,
Right.
our very sense of self.
But for all its power and complexity, the brain remains a mystery in many ways.
Absolutely,
We're still trying to unravel how it creates consciousness,
Right.
how it shapes our perception of the world,
Right.
and what its true potential might be.
And that's what we'll be exploring in this final part of our deep dive.
Oh, yeah.
We'll delve into the intricacies of perception, memory, creativity,
Right.
and the very essence of what it means to be human.
Okay, let's dive in. But before we get too deep into the inner workings of the brain,
Okay.
I want to start with something a little more tangible. Our senses.
Right.
How do our senses shape our perception of reality?
Hmm.
And what are the limitations of our senses?
That's a great place to start.
Yeah.
Our senses are our windows to the world.
Right.
They provide us with the raw data that our brains then process and interpret.
Right.
But what's fascinating is that our senses don't just passively record information.
Okay.
They actively shape and filter our perception of reality.
What do you mean by that?
Well, consider the fact that we can only perceive a very narrow range of the electromagnetic spectrum.
Okay.
We see visible light,
Uh-huh.
but we're blind to ultraviolet and infrared light.
Right, right.
We hear a limited range of sound frequencies,
Okay.
and our sense of smell pales in comparison to that of many animals.
So we're only getting a limited glimpse of the full picture.
Exactly.
Like we're watching a movie in black and white
Yeah.
when there's a whole world of color out there.
That's a great analogy. And it's not just about the range of stimuli we can detect.
Okay.
Our brains also filter and interpret sensory information based on our experiences, expectations, and even our emotions.
So two people can experience the same event,
Yeah.
but perceive it differently based on their own unique perspectives and backgrounds.
Exactly. It highlights the subjective nature of perception.
Hmm.
Our individual realities are constructed not just from the raw data of our senses,
Right.
but also from the unique filters and interpretations that our brains create.
That's incredible.
Mhm.
It makes you realize how much of what we perceive as reality
Yeah.
is actually a construct of our own minds.
Yeah, I like that.
But what about memory?
Okay.
How does our brain store and retrieve information?
Hmm.
And why do we forget things?
Memory is one of the most fascinating and complex functions of the brain.
It is.
It's not a single unified system,
Okay.
but rather a network of interconnected processes involving different brain regions.
So it's not like our brain has a filing cabinet
Right.
where it neatly stores all of our memories.
Not exactly. Memories are thought to be encoded in the strength and patterns of connections between neurons. And the process of remembering involves reactivating those neural networks.
So every time we remember something,
Yeah.
we're essentially reconstructing that memory from these patterns of neural activity.
Precisely. And that's why our memories can be so malleable. Each time we recall a memory,
Yeah.
it's subject to alteration based on our current thoughts, emotions, even the context in which we're remembering.
So our memories are not fixed and immutable,
Right.
but rather fluid and dynamic,
Yeah,
constantly being reshaped by our experiences.
exactly.
That's amazing. But what about creativity?
Oh,
Where does that come from?
Yeah.
Is it something we're born with, or can it be learned and developed?
Creativity is another area where the brain's complexity really shines.
Yeah.
It involves a combination of cognitive processes,
Okay.
including imagination, problem solving, and the ability to make connections between seemingly unrelated ideas.
So it's not just about being artistic or musical.
Right.
Creativity can be expressed in all sorts of ways.
Absolutely. It's about thinking outside the box, coming up with novel solutions, and
Alright.
finding new ways to express yourself and interact with the world around you.
But where did that ability come from?
Mm-hmm.
Is it something that's hardwired into our brains?
Well, there's definitely a genetic component to creativity.
Oh.
Some people are simply predisposed to be more creative than others. But it's also clear that creativity can be nurtured and developed
Okay.
through education, experience, and exposure to diverse perspectives.
So it's a combination of nature and nurture,
Yeah.
just like many other human traits.
Exactly. And one of the keys to unlocking creativity is to foster a sense of curiosity and playfulness. When we allow ourselves to explore, experiment, and make mistakes,
Right.
we open up the possibility for new ideas and insights to emerge.
So it's like we need to give our brains permission to be creative.
I like that.
Yeah.
To wander off the beaten path,
Yeah.
explore new territory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about perception, memory, and creativity.
Right.
But what about the ultimate question? Consciousness.
Ah, yes, consciousness.
How does the brain create our subjective experience of the world?
Hmm.
And what is the relationship between the mind and the body?
Consciousness. The holy grail of neuroscience and philosophy,
Yeah.
despite decades of research.
Right.
We still don't have a definitive answer to how the brain creates consciousness,
Right.
but we're making progress.
Okay.
One promising avenue of research is looking at the neural correlates of consciousness,
Okay.
specific brain activity patterns that seem to be associated with conscious experience.
So by studying brain activity,
Yeah.
we might be able to pinpoint the neural signatures of consciousness.
Exactly.
Those patterns of activity that give rise to our subjective experience of the world.
That's the idea.
That's fascinating. But what about the age-old mind-body problem?
Right?
Is the mind simply a product of the brain? Or is there something more to it? Like, is there a mind separate from the physical brain?
That's a question that's been debated by philosophers and scientists for centuries.
Right.
Some believe in materialism,
Okay.
the idea that the mind is purely a product of physical processes in the brain.
Right.
Others believe in dualism,
Okay.
the idea that the mind and body are separate entities.
So is there a right answer?
Unfortunately, there's no easy answer.
Yeah.
It's a question that may forever remain in the realm of philosophical debate. But what's exciting is that we're developing new tools and techniques
Right.
to study the brain and consciousness in ways that were never before possible.
That's true.
Who knows what breakthroughs might be just around the corner?
I love that sense of possibility.
Yeah,
And the recognition that we're still just scratching the surface
we are.
of understanding these profound mysteries.
Absolutely.
But as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I want to come back to something you said earlier
Yeah.
about the human brain being the most complex structure in the known universe.
It's true. And the more we learn about the brain,
Right.
the more we realize how much we still don't know.
So where do we go from here?
Hmm.
What are the biggest unanswered questions about the brain and consciousness?
Yeah.
And what might the future hold for our understanding of ourselves?
One of the biggest challenges is understanding how the brain integrates information from different sensory modalities
Okay.
to create this unified and coherent experience of the world.
Right.
We also need to better understand how the brain learns, adapts, and changes over time.
Right.
And of course, the ultimate goal is to crack the code of consciousness,
Yeah.
to understand how subjective experience arises from the physical matter of the brain.
It's a daunting task, but also an incredibly exciting one.
I agree.
It feels like we're on the cusp of a new era of discovery
Yeah.
in neuroscience and the study of consciousness.
With advancements in brain imaging, genetics, and computer modeling,
Right.
we have the tools to make incredible strides in our understanding of the human brain.
It's true, yeah. And who knows, maybe one day we'll unlock the secrets of consciousness itself.
I hope so.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to bring this deep dive to a close.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground,
We have.
from the vastness of the universe to the intricacies of the human brain.
Absolutely.
And along the way, we've encountered some mind-blowing possibilities and profound mysteries.
It's been an incredible journey exploring these topics with you.
It has.
And I hope it sparked a sense of wonder
Yeah.
and a desire to keep learning and asking questions.
Me too. And to our listeners out there, thank you for joining us on this intellectual adventure.
Yes, thank you.
Remember, the universe is full of wonders and mysteries waiting to be discovered.
It is.
Never stop exploring, never stop questioning, and never stop learning.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Until next time, keep those minds open and those brains buzzing.